Welcome everybody, Film Fan 108 here to my Blu-ray pickups video for December of 2018. And as you can see, I have a small but decent size stack to talk to you guys about. Now, it's not as big of a haul compared to some of the previous pickup videos that I did, but I was actually really happy with the selection that I got for the month. And it's not always about the quantity, sometimes it's more about the quality, and if you're happy with what you get, then it's definitely worth it. So let's get into the pickups here. The first one for December, and that is none other than Bright Lights Big City from MVD Rewind. And I always love with their slipcovers, they have the sort of rewind stickers and the video store stuff. I always love when they do that. They always do a great job with their slipcovers. And on the inside here, you have the theatrical art here as well, just without the stickers and everything. Not bad there either. Now, this was actually supposed to be part of the November pickups. Now, it was another case of Amazon screw up here, guys, because I opened the package from Amazon and, uh, well, basically the slipcover was dented to shit. It was dented and it was all messed up, and instead of getting another replacement and going through this back and forth, I just asked for my money back and I reordered it through Diabolic DVD, and eventually it came in the mail sort of the beginning of December, but I wasn't dealing with Amazon again, guys. That was not happening. But this was interesting because this was a complete blind buy. I'd never heard of the movie before, and I am a Michael J. Fox fan. I really do like a lot of his work. Now, it's interesting because with Michael J. Fox, you think of him through like Teen Wolf or Back to the Future, Family Ties, stuff like that. His more lesser known, smaller films, you don't really sort of hear much about them too much. And this one completely passed me by. So I was definitely interested to check it out when MVD announced this. And it's a really interesting movie. I really do like it a lot. Now, it's about this character named Jamie, played by Michael J. Fox, and he's somebody who is a struggling writer. He's in this sort of newspaper job that he doesn't really like. He just recently got divorced by this woman who he deemed as sort of the love of his life. He's had family issues. He's spiraling out of control. He's taking an excess amount of drugs. His friends are enabling him. He's partying way too hard. His life is just going out of control, and he's just losing himself in the process. And this film is about him trying to sort of get control of things again and get his life back in order, and just the struggle of that and dealing with everything. It's a very fascinating and dark movie. The movie reminds me a lot of something like Less Than Zero. Now, Less Than Zero is actually a little bit better of a movie, probably a little bit more darker. But this movie is really fascinating and really interesting, and a great performance by Michael J. Fox here, but not just him. You have a lot of really great people. Young Kiefer Sutherland, Phoebe Cates, Diane Wiest, a lot of really great actors here. Everybody does a really great job here. And it's a really great slice of the 80s, the access of the 80s, and also sort of the drug and party culture of the 80s. It's a really great, fascinating look at that. And I really did enjoy the movie a lot. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really well done here. And MVD does a really great job where the picture quality is not bad here, guys. And you get a commentary by the cinematographer really talking about the look of the movie, the look of a lot of the 80s movies, what they were trying to accomplish. Very interesting commentary. You also get one by the author slash screenwriter, and of course he talks about the book, the movie, the differences between the two, and a few other things. Very interesting one there as well. You also get a featurette from the author screenwriter also, and he talks about the writing of the book, what he was trying to accomplish, the fact that a lot of the stuff that he dealt with in real life went into the book and also the film as well. Very interesting featurette. And you also get a featurette with the novelists who really were influenced by the actual book itself, and how they thought it was a really great slice of the 80s and how it really impacted a lot of the culture. Very interesting featurette there. You also get, of course, original theatrical trailer, photo gallery, and a few other things as well. Really great, interesting movie, guys. And again, if you're a fan of Michael J. Fox and if you're a fan of these movies about sort of the excess of the 80s, then this is a really great look and definitely worth checking out, guys. I highly recommend it. Bright Lights, Big City. Then the next title that I picked up is a Kino Lorber release. Another blind buy that I had never seen before, but I was really interested to check it out, and that is the Puppet Masters right here, guys. And the really great slipcover that Kino Lorber did, really great here. And also on the inside, the theatrical art as well here. Very nice also. I really like that art too. Now, this is not to be mistaken with The Puppet Master, two very different films. This movie reminds me a lot of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is really weird because Donald Sutherland is in this movie, and he was also in the 70s version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, so it kind of goes hand in hand, I guess. This movie is about these aliens that come down to Earth, and they're almost like these sort of parasite creatures that attach themselves to the back of your neck. And they have like a probe that goes into the back of your head and controls your brain, and they sort of control you, and then they sort of reproduce the creatures, and then they multiply, attaching themselves to other people's necks and sort of trying to sort of take over the world and the extinction of the human race, and it's us sort of fighting against them. It's such a really fascinating and dark and kick-ass movie. I had never seen this one before, and I loved it, man. I was like, wow, I can't believe I had never heard of this. And interestingly enough, watching this movie, I'm not gonna lie, I'm watching the movie and I'm thinking to myself, we are so screwed as a human race trying to fight aliens. Like, we're just screwed, dude. Like, we are so ill prepared for this shit. Like, you look at things like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or this movie or Independence Day or something, and you're thinking, wow, there's a blueprint to, like, take on these aliens if they ever arrive and kill us. But, man, we just are screwed. It just, in a matter of days, we'd be done. I mean that's just, I was watching this, I'm like, we as a nation, we just couldn't deal with this. But it's just a really great movie. The performances by Donald Sutherland is great. Julie Warner, who is awesome in this as well. Keith David. Really great performances here. I love the practical effects with the creatures. I love the look of them. I love the blood and gore here. Really great movie, man. From 1994, which, as I've said to you guys before in other pickup videos, the 90s is really underrated when it comes to a lot of the movies. I feel like there's a lot of gems that need to be discovered or rediscovered by people, and I feel like this one really needs to be rediscovered, guys. If you love these alien invasion movies, if you love these sort of creature type of movies, this is really cool, man. I really enjoyed the shit out of this. And Kino Lorber did a really great job with this, gave it the love it deserves. You have an audio commentary by the director and film editor, and they talk about the making of the movie, the performances by the actors, what they were trying to achieve, the practical effects. Very, very cool audio commentary here. You also get Robert A. Heinlein, the Puppet Grand Master documentary. It talks about the making of this movie. It also talks about Robert Heinlein's other books that were adapted into movies, the style of writing, what he was going for. Very interesting documentary there. I really like that one a lot. You also get Slug with Julie Warner. She talks about having to get naked for the movie, sex scenes, the slug being attached to her. Very interesting stuff there. You also get Strange Invasion with Keith David. He talks about being the black guy and dying in movies. He talks about how the making of this and how he really loved working with certain actors. Very interesting interview. You also get Alien Me, Alien You, an interview with Richard Belzer. Yes, Richard Belzer from Law and Order is in this movie. A small role, but really interesting that he's in this thing. And the interview with him is really fascinating because not only does he go into talking about the movie, but he talks about like conspiracy theories or what he believes in and weird stuff like that. He just goes on a rant about it. I didn't even know Richard Belzer was into that kind of stuff. It was very wild interview, a short one, but really fascinating. You also get the practical effects of the Puppet Masters, talking about the effects of it. The guy who's talking about it has the old school puppets still. He has some of that stuff from back in the day. He shows them off, talks about how all the effects were done. Really interesting interview as well. You also get a booklet in here talking about the movie, of course, newly commissioned art, photo gallery, and much more. Great fucking movie, man. I do love these type of alien invasion movies. And I didn't know about it when Kino Lorber announced it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. And guys, I'm telling you, I was not disappointed. So well done here, guys. Very well worth it. If you guys haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. The Puppet Masters, so damn good, man. Then the next title I picked up is a collector's edition release from Scream Factory. Got delayed a few times, but I'm glad it finally got released. And that is none other than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, with the newly commissioned art right here. Very interesting art right there. And the theatrical art right there as well. Very interesting and weird artwork with Leatherface. But let's talk about this movie, guys. So every franchise comes here eventually, right? With Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell, right? We got the weird body hopping mythology, weird stuff, whatever. You have with Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's Dead, the weird mythology and the 3D and the weird creatures popping into Freddy. Very weird stuff, guys. Then, of course, in the Halloween franchise, you have the Curse of Michael Myers, and that goes into the rune stones and the weird mythology and everything, the druids. Well, now add Texas Chainsaw Massacre to the mix because basically we're here, man. Any franchise or horror franchise that goes on long enough, you're bound to get to the weird installment, and we're at this one here. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre series has never really been exactly consistent, but this one is sort of the oddball of the group. It really is, man. It's hard to talk about this movie because it's so odd and bizarre, man. Basically, it's about these teenagers who, after prom, are being foolish teenagers, and of course they get caught up with the family and Leatherface and get caught and have to try to escape, and the family's trying to kill them, and the whole thing. It's a typical horror movie. But what makes this movie interesting is the whole background behind all this stuff. Because Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger is in this, but it's before they were big. It's before they were really big actors. And they did this movie, and then after this movie was made, they became bigger stars. They did a lot of bigger work, and suddenly this movie now is like, now they're agents, and everybody wants to bury this movie, and they're ashamed of it, and suddenly this movie was the dirty little secret that nobody wanted to have around. And it was just weird because watching the movie, it's bizarre, but it's entertaining. Like Matthew McConaughey as Vilmer, it's so wild of a performance, but it's so fantastic. I mean, he goes for it in a big bad way, man. It's so like just crazy bonkers, but it works for the movie. Renee Zellweger plays a really strong female character. I like her in the movie. It works. Even the weird ass person playing Leatherface somehow pulls it off. It's a weird movie, but somehow I actually enjoy it. Crazy enough as it is. But the weird thing is this movie is like a weird conspiracy theory of it goes into stuff like the assassination of JFK and all this weird stuff. It goes into some really bizarre places. But it's weird in the best of ways. But what I love about the movie is it just goes for it in a big bad way. It's unapologetic and it just goes for it. And it's probably one of the weirdest horror movies in a franchise that you can ever ask for. But it really is fantastic, and I absolutely enjoy it for some odd fucking reason, guys. But, you know, again, I think Scream Factory gave it the love it deserved. I think it's actually not bad here. And, you know, again, it's a collector's edition release. They don't have a lot of features on here, but I think because, again, I think a lot of the stuff that they wanted to put on here, unfortunately, you have Matthew McConaughey's agent and probably Renee Zellweger's agents just trying to bury this film, man, trying to bury anything to do with this. In fact, if you guys remember that when Scream Factory ended up announcing the artwork for Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation, it actually had pictures of Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey on both of the sides here, and they had to rechange that basically due to legal things and how they didn't want their likeness on it. It's man, this thing still is like for some reason controversial with these actors, which I don't really understand why. But I don't know. Maybe they just want to hide this movie. I mean, work is work, right? But whatever. And you get here two versions of the film. You get the theatrical cut and you get the director's cut. Now, the director's cut is actually in HD with standard definition inserts. Now, I will say this much: I actually prefer the unrated director's cut here, and it's got a completely different title. It's The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. And you get a lot of added scenes which make the film better. You get extra scenes with Renee Zellweger really adding stuff to her character, extra scenes with the teenagers, extra scenes with the family. It's a better cut of the movie. I think it makes the movie better. It doesn't feel as choppy. The theatrical cut feels much more shorter. This feels like a better movie. And I think the standard definition inserts are not really jarring. I feel they actually are really fit well into the movie when you're watching it. I actually really liked it, man. I like the director's cut much better. That's going to be my preferred version of the movie, guys. But you also get here The Buzz is Back, an interview with the director of photography. You get Marked for Death, an interview with actor Tyler Cohn, who plays that annoying sort of boyfriend character. He really has a really fun time talking about this movie. And he's unapologetic with, hey man, it's a movie, it was work. You know, he talked about hanging out with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. He's a really great interview, really great guy to talk to. You also have If Looks Could Kill, an interview with special effects creator J.M. Logan. He ends up talking about, the special effects, the whole stuff with Leatherface, talking about the actor who played Leatherface, which unfortunately passed away, which I didn't even know about that. Very interesting stuff there. You also get behind the scenes footage, you get still gallery theatrical trailer, and you get an audio commentary with the director here, Kim Henkel, and the person who did a documentary for the film that's not on the disc here. They are very, it's a very interesting commentary because he talks about, Kim Henkel is kind of doesn't really want to talk about the movie. He's very hesitant. He doesn't really like talking about the movie very much. But once they get going, he talks about the script. He talks about why he made certain choices with the film. You know, the angles of why he did stuff. You know, the acting, why the movie is buried or why it's still around to this day. Very interesting commentary here. And you also get here, like I said, the theatrical trailer, still galleries, all that stuff. Really interesting movie, guys. Probably one of the most interesting and fascinating movies in any horror franchise. But so well done, guys. And you know what? Honestly, it's a really fascinating movie. But definitely check out the documentary that's on YouTube. It goes into the making of the movie. Very interesting documentary as well, guys. But it's a great movie, weird as it is. I do enjoy it. And hey, I love the Texas Chainsaw franchise. This is a fucked up movie, but it's a fucked up movie. I want it in the collection, guys. I really enjoy it. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. And the next pickup that I got, guys, is a release from Vinegar Syndrome. And that is Cutting Class right here, guys. A very interesting horror film from back in the 80s. The first leading role from Brad Pitt. Yes, Brad Pitt was actually in a horror movie other than something like Seven or something. He was in Cutting Class, a very young Brad Pitt at that. And not only that, but you got Jill Schoen in here as well. You've got Roddy McDowell. You've got Martin Mull from The Roseanne Show in here also. Yeah, you got quite the cast of characters in this sucker. Basically, it's about these high school students, and this kid comes back from like this mental institution. He sort of was responsible for things happening previously, and while all this is going on, there's killings that are happening at the school, faculty, students, and all the while they're blaming this kid, but it could be someone totally different. So it's sort of a mystery of figuring out who it is, and also the wacky adventures of these teenagers and all the cool deaths that happen. Interesting sort of horror movie that I've never actually heard of, guys, to be honest with you. When it was announced from Vinegar Syndrome, I was like, I'm gonna pick this up. I'm interested in it. I saw the trailer on YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. And I really, really did enjoy this sucker quite a bit. Very cheesy, very over the top, kind of ridiculous, but I actually enjoyed it for that slice of 80s cheesiness that we get here. And it's nice to see Brad Pitt in this role. He's actually really engaging, and he's a little bit of a douchebag, but he's kind of likable at the same time. I like him in this type of role. You also have Jill Schoen, of course. She's like quintessential 80s, whether we're talking Stepfather or something like even the early 90s like Popcorn. She's really great in as well. Yeah, I love her a lot as well. She was great in this also. And so I want to say that I pre-ordered this sucker back in October of 2018. Now, when I pre-ordered it back in October, it was a limited edition release that basically came with slipcovers. And just so you know, it didn't come with just one, two, three, four. It came with five slipcovers, guys. And I will show you those slipcovers right now here. You know, this slipcover right here, right there, that's one of the slipcovers. You have the second slipcover right here. Very interesting. All based on the deaths that are actually in the movie themselves. The third slipcover, very nice slipcover right there. You also have this one, very cool slipcover. Very cool slipcover indeed. And the last slipcover, yeah, very nice slipcover there. So I got all five slipcovers here, guys. All five of them right here. Now, the interesting thing about the slipcovers is that when I pre-ordered it in October, that was the only way that you could get all five slipcovers, guys. Now, they did sell them individually and separately when they did their Black Friday sale in December. Once they did all that and everything, or actually in November, I should say, when they finally shipped it out in December and I got the slipcovers with it. So, basically, I don't know what slipcover to put on it. I mean, I could just change it out every single day, but I'm going to keep the slipcovers because they're really cool and I'm not giving them away to anybody. They're mine. But I want to know from you guys, what slipcover do you want me to use? I will use whatever you guys want me to. So again, I'm going to just show it off again. Which one do you want me to use? Definitely let me know. You got Axe to the Head. You got the Copy Your Death. You have the Death Under the Bleachers. You have the Man Burning. Or you have the Trampoline Death. Which one do you want me to use, guys? I'll use whatever you think is best. let me know and I'll tally up the votes and we'll see who wins. But yes, Cutting Class itself is a really enjoyable, cheesy, fun B movie that I really do enjoy, guys. It was very well done, and I'm glad Vinegar Syndrome released it. It gets a lot of love. The picture quality is actually really good here. You get a new video interview with Jill Schoen, and Jill Schoen actually talks about how she didn't really want to do this movie. Her agents ended up actually convincing her to do it, and not only that, but she really didn't like the director. Her and the director didn't get along at all. But she has really great things to say about Brad Pitt, and she talks about being a female in the industry at that time versus now, and a very interesting video interview here. You also get a new video interview with one of the actors here, Donovan Leitch. And Donovan Leitch is actually the teenager from the mental institution. He does a really great job talking about this movie, how he really enjoyed the director, how he enjoyed working with Brad Pitt and Jill Schoen. Really great interview with him, really well done. You also get an audio interview with the director, and the audio interview with the director is really fascinating because he talks about the whole process. He talks about how he found Brad Pitt and how he just instantly knew he was gonna be big in the movies, and fine, whatever. And just talks about the creative process of making the movie. Very interesting video. Well, it's not really. It's sort of an audio interview, but it's him talking. But it's a really well done interview regardless. Very well done here. You also get an audio interview with the cinematographer, talking about how he wanted to light it, the Brad Pitt thing, working with the actors, the director, everything. Very interesting audio interview as well. You also end up getting a commentary track by The Hysteria Continues. I had never actually heard anything by these guys before, but it's actually a really well done commentary. They joke about the film, but they also give anecdotes about the film, things that happened. Very interesting audio commentary. I kind of liked it actually. And you also get kill comparisons, rated versus unrated, theatrical trailer, and whatnot. Very actually really great release by Vinegar Syndrome. I really like their releases a lot, and this is a no-brainer. I really enjoyed this one, and it coming with the slipcovers is really awesome. Definitely let me know which one I should pick up, guys. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Cutting Class. Then the next title I picked up is another collector's edition from Scream Factory, guys. And I have the first collector's edition that they did of this series, so I wanted to get the second one. And that is, come on, no brainer, Garbage Day! Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, guys, with this great slipcover from Scream Factory. I love the art here, very fantastic. And on the inside here, you get the original art as well. Very cool. I like that art a lot here. And oh man, I love that first Silent Night, Deadly Night. Such a really great one. And I had never seen Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. So when they announced it, I was like, I'm just going to blind buy this. You kind of notice a theme. I've been doing a lot of blind buys for the month. This was a no-brainer. Watching it, it's not as good as that first film. Here's the thing about it. For about less than half the film, it's a recap of the first one. It's basically the brother of the killer from the first film. He's all grown up now, and he's in this like psychiatrical mental ward or institution or something, and he's being interviewed by this psychiatrist about the deaths that he did, and he recaps his brother's killings in the last film, and he goes on to sort of describe the stuff that he did, the killings and everything. I really enjoy this film though. I like the character here. I like him. I think it's over the top. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's cheesy as shit. But it somehow is really great, man. But I love the kills here. I love the killer himself. He's just over the top, and I think it's just the actor just having fun with it, man. It really is a wild ride. It's just ridiculous, but it's the best kind of ridiculousness. I love it. It's just it's a really cool follow up to the last one. It's not like the first one was very serious in the fact of like, oh my god, this guy is dressing up as Santa Claus and terrorizing people, and it's a little bit more serious compared to this. This is a little more delving into the B movie aspect of it, a little more out there, more like quote unquote fun sequel compared to the first film, but it works. It really works. I think it's really well done, man. Cheesy as shit as it may be, it is really great to just sit back and relax and watch this fucking movie. I absolutely enjoyed it, man. I really thought it was a wild film and very well done. I'm not gonna lie here. And Scream Factory, I thought, did a really great job with this film, guys. I mean, you have a new 2K scan from the theatrical print. You have a new audio commentary with the director, co-writer, and actors Eric Freeman and James Newman. Really great. They have a great time talking about the movie, talking about the cheesy one-liners, talking about the acting and the directing and what they tried to accomplish. Really cool audio commentary here. You have a new Sleigh Bells Ring Again, the story of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. It features the writer, director, the actors, Eric Freeman, James Newman, Elizabeth Caden, Daryl Gilboy, Kenny McCaba. You also have makeup effects artist Christopher Biggs talking about the movie, man. They have a really fun time talking about the acting, how they got into the movie, the audition process, the special effects, how this movie became a cult classic. Really great documentary here. You also get a new Garbage Days Are Here Again, a look at the film's location, which is really cool. You have Eric Freeman with another guy looking at the locations, talking about it, how they film certain things. Really cool stuff there as well. You also get a new Ricky Today, a short film featuring a 2018 interview with Ricky Caldwell. Basically, Eric Freeman comes back to do a little short film of Ricky Caldwell, talking about how he's still in sort of prison, and he's trying to sort of mentally psych this guy out who's interviewing him. It's really kind of interesting. I kind of liked it a lot. He does a great job with it. You also get new I Don't Sleep, an extended interview with makeup effects artist Christopher Biggs. And this is a great interview, man. It goes through actually his whole filmography, man. His whole special effects filmography of what he did, all of his career, the films he did, and him working with Disney on stuff. Really fantastic. If you really like this guy's work as an effects artist, man, he goes through his whole career like retrospective. Really fascinating there. You also get the old audio commentary as well and a theatrical trailer. Really well done collector's edition release from Scream Factory. I really like that they did this. They did part one, and I took a gamble on part two, and I really enjoyed it. And I will admit this, man, I think that I would love to see Scream Factory do Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3, 4, and 5. If it's in a triple feature or a double feature with like 4 or 5 and then release 3 on its own or something, please do it, because I love these releases and I want this whole weird ass messed up franchise to actually get a release on Blu-ray. So please, Scream Factory, a request from FilmFan108 here, please do that. I would buy the hell out of it. Okay, very well done release. Definitely check it out. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. And the next release I got is another Scream Factory release, and that is the Mangler right here on Blu-ray. Robert Englund is in this motherfucker, directed by Tobe Hooper with a story by Stephen King himself. I had never seen this movie. It was one I had heard about for a long time, but I never actually watched it. It's really great. It's about basically this laundry business with all these workers, and this thing that sort of presses the laundry thing is killing people. It's literally killing people, and it's like mangling up their bodies, and it's possessed or something, and there's a curse, like a long curse with like the residents of the town of sacrificing people to it, and really weird and bizarre shit. Probably something that only Stephen King would come up with. But I think it's actually really well done here. It's one of those ones that's really underrated in probably Tobe Hooper's career. You think of Poltergeist, you think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Invaders of Mars, but there's a lot of stuff that he did that's really good and underrated, and I think the Mangler is one of them. So well done here, guys. Really, I like the big the actual machine itself and the gears, and I love the deaths, man. The deaths are really brutal here, man. When people go into the press and they come out, they look like bags of goo. They're just so mangled. It's like really messed up, man. It's so well done. I honestly think that Tobe Hooper did a really wonderful job on this movie. I love it. I think the acting here is great. I think that Robert Englund does a great job with this role. He plays a really just a great evil villain in this movie. He's under a ton of makeup, but he does such a great job with it. He really goes for it in a big bad way, man. He does a great job. All the actors do. Yeah, man, I really had fun watching this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed it. It's one of those ones where I think it's underrated. Not many people know about it, but I'm telling you guys, give it a chance. Because I think it's another one from the 90s that I think not a lot of people really know about it. And I think they need to, man. I think they really need to check this one out because it's one that I feel like you know what? If you like Toby Hooper, if you like Robert Englund, if you like these sort of weird Stephen King stories, and there's a lot of them that he's done, man, that have gotten adapted to films. This is one of the weird ones of just like a possessed, laundry press thing. But somehow it works. I can't really even explain it, but it's so well done, dude. It's really great here, and Scream Factory gave it the love it deserves. And like I said, it looks really good on Blu-ray, but you also get here a new audio commentary with co-writer Stephen David Brooks, and he really talks about him being adapting this from the Stephen King story, working with Stephen King, working with Toby Hooper, adapting the story, the certain things they wanted to go for. Really fascinating stuff here. You also get a new interview with Robert Englund, and man, Robert Englund is a great person to interview. He goes into the makeup process, he goes into the shooting location for this movie, how he basically had to, basically work with the makeup and how the makeup like irritated his skin and how basically like parts of his skin was peeling because he was so irritated with it. He talks about how his makeup artist, he had to like supply food for the makeup artist because the makeup artist got sick on the food where they were filming, so he had to help his makeup artist out because his makeup artist was like the guy who did the Freddy makeup, and he really trusted him. So he was like, I'm gonna really like make sure this guy is well fed because he's taking care of me, so I gotta take care of him. Really fascinating stuff, man. I really love any interview that Robert Englund does, and this is a fantastic interview. It's a really great movie, man. You also get theatrical trailer here as well, and this is the unrated cut, and damn is it unrated, man. Brutal as shit, but I love it, guys. This is a great fucking movie, guys. If you love Stephen King, if you love Robert Englund, Toby Hooper, give this a whirl, man. I think you guys might really enjoy it. Another blind buy, but I love it. What can I tell you? The Mangler. And my next pickup, guys, is a movie that came out in 2018 that I really enjoyed. And I noticed a lot of people really didn't, but this was one where I went in with low expectations, but man, did I really have a fun time with it. And I feel it's better than a lot of people give it credit for. And that is The Predator right here on Blu-ray. And I really love the slipcover here of the heat vision with, showing off the Predator and everything. And on the inside, it's the same artwork as well. Nothing really different here also. But honestly, I had a great time watching this movie, guys. I thought it was really fun. and really gory and bloody and brutal. And I loved the characters here. I got into the dialogue. I loved the camaraderie. I really thought it was a pretty kick-ass film, and anytime people were hating on the film, I felt like they were saying, well, it's not as good as the first film and not as good as like the second film or anything. And I'm like, okay, granted, I agree with you guys. My problem, and I feel my biggest problem with what people's arguments are, is that they're like, well, it's not as serious and gritty as the first film is, like that first Predator film with Arnold. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know if you guys are putting on rose colored glasses or what's going on, but if you look back at that first Predator film, that is a cheesy horror B movie. It is not trying to be this realistic, gritty, dramatic, film. It's got cheesy dialogue. It's got cheesy action. It's got machismo dripping all the way down it. That's the type of movie it is. And this movie is the exact same thing, only in 2018. It's, it's not it's it doesn't have Arnold in it, and it doesn't have as many of those wonderful one-liners as the first Predator film had, and maybe it doesn't have as cool of kills as that first Predator does, and even the second Predator. But I still really love it, man. I still really love the designs of the Predator. I love how they use the Predator in this film. I think it's pretty damn good for a Predator film. It's directed by Shane Black. Shane Black was in the first Predator film. He helped write parts of that Predator film as well. He's here. I think he brings a certain great level of action to the movie. I think he really knows what kind of movie he's making. He's not making an ultra serious movie. He's making a B movie horror film which has sci-fi elements to it, and I think he hits it out of the park, man. I really do. I wasn't asking for something gritty and groundbreaking. I was asking for a cheesy, fun romp of a movie, and that's what I got. And I really enjoy this thing a lot, man. It may not be for everybody, but for me, it is. And I think they gave it kind of a good amount of love on Blu-ray here. You get some deleted scenes. You get a touch of black, which is basically talking about Shane's black influence on the movie, his role in the series, especially the first Predator to now, him talking about directing it. Very good featurette here. You also get Predator evolution. They talk about the evolution of the Predator in the series. Very great featurette there. You also get the Takedown team really talking about all the characters, their relationships to one another, what the actors brought to the role. Very good stuff here. Predator catch up, which is just basically moments from the series that is catching you up to this one. Gallery as well, trailers, basic stuff here. I wish we would have gotten an audio commentary because I would have loved to hear Shane Black's thoughts. But I really enjoyed this film. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I love the Predator. I love Predator 2. I think Predator 2 is incredibly underrated. And I'm not a big fan of Alien versus Predator or AVP Requiem. I'm not even a big fan of Predators. Maybe I have to rewatch that one again, but the last time I saw it, I wasn't in love with it. But this one, I feel like it's really underrated, and I feel like over years, I think it's gonna find its audience. But I think for right now, I think people are, I think comparing it too closely to that first Predator film, and I think they're judging it a little harshly. I think over time, I think people are going to reevaluate it. But man, I had a wonderful time with it, and it's definitely worth watching. Give it a chance. I would definitely give it a chance, guys. The Predator. Then the next title I picked up is another 2018 movie, which I really, really enjoyed, man. Thought it was really great, and that is A Simple Favor right here on Blu-ray. Man, I'm not the biggest fan of Anna Kendrick. I'll be honest with you. I'm not even the biggest fan of Blake Lively. Yeah, they both done interesting things, but I've never really gotten invested in them as actors. So when I was watching this movie, I was like, I like the trailers, I like the mystery aspect of it, but I don't know what these actors are gonna bring to it, if I'm gonna really care about them. I was surprised. I really like this movie. It's basically about this single mother played by Anna Kendrick who befriends this other mother played by Blake Lively. But they both have little kids around the same age that sort of want to play with each other and sort of be friends. And Anna Kendrick is realizing that Blake Lively is this really like harsh woman, very vulgar, is very mysterious, doesn't really talk about her past much, doesn't like her picture taken, and just is doesn't really open up to people. And one day she goes missing, and nobody knows where she went. Nobody has heard from her. Everyone thinks she might be dead. And Anna Kendrick is the one that has to go searching and want to find out the answers and the truth. It's very much a mystery thriller, and it's really well done, guys. I really enjoyed this. I can't talk about it too much because I'm gonna get into spoilers, to be honest with you, and anything I say past that is really spoiling a lot. But Anna Kendrick is great in this. Blake Lively, Henry Golding, who plays Blake Lively's husband, does a really great job here. He was from Crazy Rich Asians, does an awesome job here as well. Everybody does a really great job. I love the mystery. There's a lot of things that you don't see coming. There's aspects of the movie that's very soap opera-ish, but it's not overwhelming, and it's it doesn't overtake the movie. I think the thriller aspect is still really great there. There's comedy in it. Comedy is sometimes hit or miss, but it is still pretty decent overall. The movie is directed by Paul Feig, and I'm not the biggest fan of Paul Feig. I mean, I like I like some of the Melissa McCarthy stuff he did, but not so much. I really hated the Ghostbusters remake. I think that just was a train wreck. But I just didn't think he was going to be good for this movie. He actually hit it out of the park. I really think Paul Feig should stick to movies like this because I think this is more in his wheelhouse. I think comedies are not bad, but I think him trying something different like a mystery thriller was really cool. He did a really great job with this. Yeah, this is just a really great little yarn of a story that really slowly develops and really like grabs you and you really want to know what's going to happen to the characters. I enjoyed this one, guys. I was surprised how much I did. I really love this one a lot. And it actually gets a lot of love on Blu-ray here. You get deleted scenes, you get three audio commentaries here with different cast and crew, Paul Feig talking about stuff, really different aspects of it, talking about directing, talking about the actors, talking about the making of the movie with some of the crew. Very interesting, three audio commentaries, and they're all very fascinating. Really great stuff here. You also get 8 featurettes, and of course they talk about stuff with Paul Feig. They stuff about the actors, their characters, stuff about the story, how this was actually a book. This is originally a book, and they adapted it to the screen. Talking about the deleted scenes in the movie, talking about how they had a completely different ending for the movie, which is a whole thing with a flash mob. Very weird stuff with like a flash mob and Henry Golden dancing and I don't know if it really works, but it's kind of fascinating for them talking about it and the making of it. Very interesting featurettes here. They really delve into this. It's almost like over these 8 featurettes, it's like a mini documentary. Really fascinating, guys. And you get a gag reel and a couple other things as well. It's a really well told story, really well done. And if you like these actresses, or if you're interested in Paul Feig, or even like those mystery thrillers, I would give it an honest recommendation. I think it's actually pretty decent of a film. I enjoyed it, man. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it this much, worth buying, but I really liked it, guys. Simple favor. Then the next title that I picked up is a 4K Blu-ray digital title, and of course I had to pick it up. I really did enjoy this movie. One of the best anti-heroes of the year, and that is Venom right here with the slipcover here for the 4K, which I really like this slipcover. But what's even better is that there's different artwork on the inside, and that is of Tom Hardy right there and the Venom face in the half, which is really, really cool, guys. That is really great artwork, man. I really like that you get a different artwork on the flip and different artwork on the inside. I wish the studios would do that, man. That's really, really cool. And I got to admit, this was one of those movies that was a curiosity when it came out. I was like, I like the trailer. I'm not in love with it. I don't know how they're going to do Venom because they did it in Spider-Man 3. And I'm like, boy, they really fucked up that character in Spider-Man 3. And I'm like, maybe they shouldn't do Venom. But I was surprised how much I really did enjoy this film, guys. I really love the relationship between Tom Hardy and Venom here. I like the design of Venom. I like the CGI. I think the work they do is great. Tom Hardy himself, he does not phone this in. This is not a paycheck film. He really is going for it. It's a really well done take on the character. Most of the acting is really good. Michelle Williams is pretty decent in here as well. A lot of great actors in this piece. I love the action set pieces. I think overall this is a really great alternate take on a character of Venom. Venom is mostly a bad guy. Yeah, they've sort of written him as in a character in the comics as more of like the anti-hero character, but most people know him as the villain of Spider-Man. And because right now Sony is licensing that character to Marvel, they can't really use Spider-Man here, so they had to do something different with Venom. And I really enjoyed it. I liked him being sort of the reluctant hero. It's a really well told story. I think they do really well with the character for what they're given. The only thing is, I wish this was an R-rated movie. Like, there's moments when I'm watching the action when I'm thinking to myself, this could have been really more hardcore if it was R. And I know that they shot some of the movie to be an R rating, but they toned it down for a PG-13. I think Tom Hardy said that in an interview or something. And I can see it. I can see how they toned it down a little bit. It's still a really good movie, and I think the Venom relationship with Brock is probably the best thing about the movie. The relationship that those two have, and I love the design, and I love how sort of quirky Venom can be, and just I think I think I think they take the time to develop the characters, and I think that's what makes the movie. If they were just rushing it, I think it wouldn't have been as good. I think they took their time with it, and I think it really works. And yeah, man, I mean, look, there was nowhere to go but up because the Venom in Spider-Man 3 was so fucking terrible that Venom could be reading the phone book, and I think people would like it better than what they did in Spider-Man 3. But honestly, though, guys, it is really pretty damn good of an anti-hero, sort of superhero type of film. And I think it's different than we're usually used to. The movie made a lot of money at the box office. We're gonna get a sequel to this. They sort of hint at the end of the film towards a sequel. I won't spoil it, but it is a very well done. I do really enjoy it a lot. Yeah, this is really, really well done. I did enjoy the film, and they put a lot of stuff here, guys. They did an extended post-credit scene, deleted scenes. They have a bunch of featurettes here. The anti-hero, Venom Vision, designing Venom, symbiote secrets, and more. Just a lot of stuff talking with the actors about Venom, talking about the comic book or origins of Venom, talking about shooting the film, the action, the CGI, the design of Venom, Hardy, how he prepared for this, how he actually also um, ended up actually voicing the role of Venom as well on set. He did voice work for Venom, and they would play it back during his scenes so that he would have something to interact with. Like, very cool stuff, guys. Some really great stuff that they did for this. Really well done. I really enjoyed it, guys. And yeah, they gave it the love it deserved. I am definitely looking forward to the sequel. I think it's going to be really cool. Yeah, I'm on board for this in a big bad way, guys. And I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. Definitely give it a whirl if you have not checked it out. Venom. Then the last pickup of 2018 that I got was actually a Warner Archive release. They had a little bit of a sale going on in December, and I didn't really know if I wanted to pick up anything. but I decided, what the hell, I'm going to give something a try, see if I like anything that they have on sale. And I picked up one thing, another Michael J. Fox film that I fucking love, man. And I'm so happy I have it on Blu-ray now. Doc Hollywood. Man, I love Doc Hollywood, guys. Doc Hollywood is so awesome. As I said in the beginning of the video, Michael J. Fox, I'm a big fan of his. I love all the stuff he's done. You know, I I grew up watching Spin City. Love me some Michael J. Fox, man. Back to the Future, the sequels, Teen Wolf. So many wonderful roles he did, and Doc Hollywood is one of them. I really love this film. Basically, it's about this big city doctor, plastic surgery type of guy, who wants to move on to bigger and better things, and he ends up going through this town, and basically he crashes through something, and he does some damage to his car, and he has to pay off the damage in the town before he can leave, and he ends up like becoming helping the town doctor, becoming the doctor of the town, and creating this relationship with the townsfolk, falling in love with this woman, and just like, you know, almost not wanting to leave, sort of getting used to the town, the people, and starting to feel like he belongs there. It's a really wonderful sort of comedy that I just remember when I ever first watched it. I just loved it. I was like, man, and that's the great thing about Michael J. Fox is Michael J. Fox is so likable. He's so damn likable, man. He's probably one of the most likable actors I think I've ever seen on screen, man. He could be, at times in this movie, he's a little bit of a douche, tiny bit, but you still like him. He comes across as likable, and I think that's just the way he is as an actor. He does a really great job here. Julie Warner, of course, earlier in the video, she was in the Puppet Masters. She does a great job here as Michael J. Fox love interest. Woody Harrelson is great in this movie as well as sort of one of the city folk. Jane Fonda, I think Jane Fonda, right? I'm thinking, yeah. No, Bridget Fonda. Bridget Fonda. I said Jane Fonda. Bridget Fonda. My bad. Bridget Fonda is great in here in a small role as well. A lot of really wonderful actors in here, man. Yeah, I really do enjoy this movie a lot. It's one of those sort of 90s movies that is kind of like you watch it and you're like, yeah, man, the 90s was really great. Doc Hollywood, man. Like, that's one of those movies I love. And it's rewatchable. I rewatched it recently off of the Blu-ray, and I just fell in love with it again, man. I fucking loved it. It was so fantastic, dude. Um, yeah, it's easily a recommendation. If you're a fan of Michael J. Fox, and like I said, Michael J. Fox is one of the best actors of his generation, man. So wonderful. This is a great release. Unfortunately, there is no special features here. I wish there was something, an audio commentary or an interview with Michael J. Fox, but we get nothing. I get it. I'm not mad, but I wish we would have gotten something. But just having this on Blu-ray, I've never owned it on DVD or VHS or anything. The fact to have it on Blu-ray now, another Michael J. Fox one in the collection, I love it. If you're a fan of Michael J. Fox, pick it up, guys. What can I tell you? Michael J. Fox does great movies. This is one of them. Definitely check it out, guys. Doc Hollywood. Alright, everybody, that'll do it for the Blu-ray pickup video for December of 2018. And as you can see, guys, I have a small but decent sized stack that I showed off here. Might not have been the biggest stack for anybody over the course of the month of December, but you know what, man? I was really happy with everything I picked up. I thought I had some really quality releases here. I was very happy with everything that I got to show you guys, and I gotta be honest, all of 2018 I thought I had some really awesome releases. There was so much great, fantastic physical media that came out. You can check out all of the Blu-ray pickup videos that I did for 2018. I had some really awesome stuff that I got throughout the year, and man, the physical media for 2018 was some of the best. I don't know if you guys agree with me. Definitely let me know. But we're on to 2019 here, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know whether this year can top 2018 because I'm gonna tell you, man, 2018 just rocked for physical media, but I have a feeling we're gonna get some really quality, solid releases in 2019. I think a lot of these independent studios, a lot of the stuff like Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, Scream Factory, Code Red, Arrow, all these amazing companies. I think they're going to put out some really awesome stuff. I think we're going to get some really fantastic releases. Criterion as well. So much wonderful stuff that's going to be released, as well as big studio films that are going to have really great additions. Yeah, I'm looking forward to so much of 2019, but let me know what you guys picked up. I am very interested for all the pickups that you guys got. And are you looking forward to 2019 for physical media, or are you a little worried? Definitely let me know your thoughts on physical media for this upcoming year here. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. And again, man, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray pickup videos that I've done. Check out the theatrical movie reviews that I do with my friends every single week. Check out, of course, the Blu-ray DVD out and about videos I do every single Tuesday, plus so much more content that's on the channel. If you love movies and physical media, hit subscribe and be a part of the Film Fan Nation. I love talking about movies. I have a passion for it. I love sharing my passion with you guys out there. So if you enjoy what I do on the channel, then definitely hit subscribe. And keep up to date with all that I'm doing. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, FilmFan108. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus some side stuff I do from time to time on social media as well. Alright guys, on to the physical media for 2019, but had to look back how awesome 2018 was, guys. Again, I will see you next time for a brand new Blu-ray Pickups video. Happy hunting, guys, and here's to some great physical media in the new year. Take care, everybody.